Again, like always, we have multiple options for this last thing and assigning a box in here. One of them, if you look, one of them is to just make this whole box, all the boxes in here, into another division, and then make them smaller and give them a margin from left so that we have some space in the left. We have done something like that in the previous lectures. But let's say that we have assigned some box for all the boxes and we don't want to change anything, but we just want to assign another box in here. So what we could do is to just simply create another box. So if we look at the HTML in here, if you just pay attention, the page is the whole page, then we have the box. So we go, and after the last division in here should be our other division. So we say div, we give it an ID of equal to maybe first box, we close it, and this should be a div, maybe in a bold tag, name as a class equal to a start, or no, yes, class is equal to a start text, and also the text that we want in here is a start. Now we go to the CSS. In here we give an ID of a start, so no, we give an ID of first box, sorry, so we say this is a first box, and now we apply the CSS like always, display block, and then we say position absolute because we need to move it until it is attached to our box. We give it a width of, let's say, for example, because it is with respect to the whole page, so we say maybe 5%, and a height of maybe 10%, and also a background color of maybe brown for now. Now if we refresh our page again, this is our box which we want to move it, and in here also we should just increase the height. So we increase the height to 20%, and now we want to move it, so we simply say left, I want it to be 20% from left, and I want it to be 20% from top. Now let's check it, that how it changes. Now if we refresh, this is in here, just move it a little to the left. So if you want to move it to the left, we just say this should be, for example, 17%. If we refresh it again, no more, maybe 15%, or maybe more. Let's just check it. Yes, 15% is good. Also, let's give it some border. So we say border maybe 0.5 pixel, solid and white. We check it again, and we would want to change the shape to be something like this. So as we learned, we do this using maybe the transform, or let me just see what we could do. First of all, let me just change the color. Instead of brown, we want to be the color of the box. So if we have a look at yes, we want the color to be of this type. So copy, and where was it? Yes, this is the color that we need to remove the brown. Paste it in here and refresh it. You see now this is our box. Also increase the height to maybe 30%. Now we refresh it, maybe less than 30, for example 25. Right now you can't say, for example, the width of all of the height of all of them is 13, so I should give it 39%. Pay attention that the width and height of all of these single boxes is respect to the width and height of this box. This box would be considered the 100, and then 13% of this 100 would be the height of this box, while this is with respect to the whole page. So 13% of the whole page is much more bigger than 13% of this, but you could calculate the exact thing if you want, as we showed it to you in the previous lecture. Let me just do it using the test and error. So in here we should just decrease it by maybe a small amount of 2%. If we refresh it again, maybe more, or maybe we could increase the border in here, or we say 23.5. refresh it. Now it seems to be okay. Also, no, it's complete now. The only thing that we need is to just change this shape. So the text has a class of a start text, or let me just change this class from a start to ID to class, from class to ID. Now in here we say ID start text, and let's say just a color of white, a margin of maybe 20%, or let me just give it a 40%. Now if we refresh it again, so we don't have margin top, again we should say display inline block, save it, refresh it. So again, this is the thing that we have in here. If we want to change the shape, we could, for example, say another thing called border radius in here, which is for maybe circling rectangles. So if we say border radius in here and by 30%, and you have a look now, you would see that it wants to convert to a circle as this thing that you see here, that I think is better. Also, I would want to change the border from solid to maybe dashed, and the white to be orange in here, and increase the border to 1 pixel to see how it changes. Now I think it's better in this way, or any other idea that you have to make it more pretty.